Alright gamers, welcome back. World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore Ironman Adventures, episode 197, episode 47 on our Dwarven Paladin here. Let's get back into it. I didn't do an extra episode last night. I was too tired, honestly, and went and met up with the girl that I'm talking to, and when I got back with that, I was just like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go to bed. So I did rewatch the footage though from yesterday where we were taking on Lieutenant Fangor out in Red Ridge. We wound up pulling 10 plus gnolls that are like level 23, 24, some of them 25, 26, and where I was just like, we're dead. Dude, the genuine fear in my face towards the end of that clip is so funny. I was so scared, bro. Oh my god. I don't want to think about it anymore. I did go ahead and craft down all of the copper that we had, the tin that we had, made it into bronze. Let's go ahead and give you a buff. What are you, priest? Yep. And then I also made a couple more coarse sharpening stones. So we have a full stack of 20 here. We've got some excess here to burn through. And then I had some wool cloth, and I was like, you know what? Let's make some weight stones. That way, if I want to use the heavy bronze mace, we don't feel bad about it. I actually get some bonus weapon damage, and honestly I feel like there's more value to using the coarse weight stones on the one-hander than there is using the sharpening stones on the two-hander. Might be wrong about that, but it just feels that way to me. But before we get started today, I think I want to make a couple pairs of pants. This is a gold right here, right? Make 10 of them, sell 10. We should be at like 14.28 silver or 30 silver, something like that. This way I just don't have to keep all this shit in the bank. Do I still have a stack of 20 in the bank? Yes, and we have some excess copper, so not too worried about it. We do have our last 5 silver bars. I think we're going to Stormwind first. We're going to drop some of this stuff off in the bank, and then we're going to go turn in a quest that we have in Stormwind, as well as go read some books first, and then I think we're heading to Darkshire. I think we finally get to start Darkshire today. Which, I believe I've already gone ahead and got the flight path to Darkshire. Okay, so 10 pairs of pants. Gets us up to 1433. Not bad. And that uses all of the bronze that we had. Because again, we're past the bronze era. We're officially into iron territory. I'm just not finding a lot of iron yet for the zones that we're in. And I still want the bronze. It still makes me like solid money, right? So let's check and see if I have the flight path to Darkshire. I'm pretty sure I got it when I went and got the ale there.
Where would you like to fly to?
Okay, we do. So let's head to Stormwind. We will come back to Lakeshire one last time to do Gethelzog, Shadow Magic, and Therazun, as well as looking further. But this will probably be like 35, maybe even 40. I don't really care about the experience from these things. I'm already over-leveled in most of the zones that I'm in right now. I mostly just want to have the security of doing that quest at a higher level, because this is a zone that has a lot of elites around it. You're in a castle where the elites can respawn. It's dicey. I could probably take it on right now, honestly, but it's not worth the risk, especially after the events that happened yesterday right around here. I don't want to risk it, man. I'd rather just go somewhere else and start something new, which for us is going to be Darkshire. We're ready. We're ready to take on Darkshire. Every quest here looks good for me, minus this quest here, Crime and Punishment. This is for Councilman Millstipe of Darkshire wants you to bring him the hand of Dextrin Ward. Who is Dextrin Ward? That must be Dextrin Ward. Ah, it's Stockades. Okay. That makes sense. Well, let's go ahead and hide this quest then. Hello? There we go. But yeah, I figured we'll go back to Colin Morin. We'll turn this quest in with him. We've got a couple quests here now. The Missing Diplomat. Wow, that's a long quest chain. and none of it is dungeons. That's cool. Let's go ahead and start that. A noble brew. This is a wetlands quest. We'll take that. Malin's request. That's the Arathi Highlands. We'll hold off on that. This is 40 plus. Bring the Paranolde Tiara to Remington Ridgewell. Hold off on that. I think we're going to take... I think we'll take James Hiles' quest. We'll turn this into Colin. We'll take a Noble Brew, and we'll take the Missing Diplomat, as well as there's a couple books in the library that I want to go read. I think we said, what, there's 3 more in the library that I want to read. I think I'm going to go ahead and knock all those out now, and 1 in the park. We're heading over to the park now, so we'll read that. We'll read the 3 in the library, and then all that's left is the War Room. We'll get to the War Room another time. There was 2 in Lakeshire. Fuck, I meant to read those before I left. That'd be a bit too much reading for one session, so we'll hold off on the 2 in Lakeshire and read them when we go back and take on the elite quests here. I don't know why, but I just feel cooler walking around with my mace and my shield on. Alright, Colin. Hello again, Bale. Have you returned from the Vale in Stone Talon with those scales?
This is perfect, adventurer. Thank you greatly. Perhaps one day in the future I'll be able to help you as you have helped me.
Oh, you already are, man. Spellcrafter wand, 24 silver. I appreciate that. Look at that, so close, man. Ain't that about a bitch? Ain't that about a bit? Okay, we're holding off on this one until we actually go to the Arathi Highlands, which isn't going to be anytime soon. I mean, it will be soon, I guess, but in order of zones, I think I'm going to do. I think it's going to be Darkshire, then Darkshire, then no, still not here. Yeah, this will be like high 30s, low 40s. I think it goes Darkshire, then we go into the jungle. Do some of the jungle. But maybe that's not right either. How's Desolus look? Ugh. Mid 30s. I guess we go Darkshire and then we're going to the Shimmering Flats. This is a dungeon quest. Man, it really kind of slows down here for the Alliance, right around the 30 range. I guess we would finish up Menethil Harbor as well. So we do Darkshire, Menethil, and then the jungle. Who do we have in here? Connor Rivers.
Before working here at the Blue Recluse, I was trained by one of the best chefs and innkeepers I'd ever met. His name was James Hile. Everything I have and everywhere I've gotten in life is thanks to him. I wonder how he's doing. His brother Vincent and he went to work in a tavern in Menethil Harbor, but I haven't heard from him recently. If you ever happen to be headed in that direction, maybe you could say hello to him for me?
Sure. What a cool name for a tavern, the Blue Recluse. I don't think there's any books up here. I would doubt it, that they would hide them in the top of a obscure tavern like this, but you never know. There's Jeff, the guy that's typing in all chat. Zardeth of the Black Claw. What a name. I guess I'll buff his pet too. Crier Goodman. The Slaughtered Lamb. I'm pretty sure this is where the Warlocks come to train. There's like a hidden... Gerald Moore, the bartender. Yeah, there's a hidden room back here where the Warlocks meet. I feel weird going down here as a Paladin, but... I heard you have business for me.
Lord Wishhawk is causing quite a stir amongst the House of Nobles. He was made aware of our little establishment down here and is lobbying for a full investigation. I have a plan to keep Wishok preoccupied, but I'll need your help. There is a flower growing in the garden of Stalvin on the outskirts of Darkshire. This small white flower is known as the Tear of Teloa. I will also need a musquash root, found only at the very base of the falls, far beneath the stone rot dam in the wetlands.
Oh, well, we know where that is. That's cool. This is actually a really cool quest. It's quests like this that I really like. What do you have to drink?
Take my advice, don't sit close to the shadows.
Take a few more stouts, dwarven stouts. Let's have a drink, have a sip. All right, let's head to the park, read, and then we'll go from the park to the square, take this from Thomas, and then from the square we'll go to the keep, where we'll go do some reading. Let's get a little tipsy. It's a dog shit power word fort. Starting to feel it now. It'd be cool if you got drunk and then when you went to read, things got like blurry, or text got all misconstrued. Where was that book here? It wasn't in this inn, was it? I do remember coming in here, but no. Oh wait, it was the War of the Ancients. Have we read this book yet? Let me see. No. Nice. Okay. The War of the Ancients. Honestly, I should add these to the general macro tab and keep track across all my characters. But I don't know. You know what? Maybe I will. Let's go 1. What did I title this? Completed books 1. Okay, the icon's near the Older War tab, which is much further down, right around here somewhere. There it is. Talk about lucky, I just scrolled right to it on that one. Books to read 1. And I guess across all my characters I can start keeping track of like the books that I've read and stuff like that, instead of forgetting when I start a new character and having to reread them and all that stuff. Like, I still kind of want to reread them on new characters or start a new adventure on new characters, but if I play 8 characters over however long we do this series, like, I'm gonna wind up rereading the same book multiple times and it's gonna lose its allure. But I want to read all the books. I don't care that much about rereading them. If I do, whatever. If I can, I'd like to not, though. You know what I mean? Or at least reread them like once at most, and then have them like clocked in the compendium, if you will. All right, let me find a good icon. What about that? That looks good. Yeah. Then we have our specific macros for this character, but okay. The Highborn's reckless use of magic sent ripples of energy spiraling out from the Well of Eternity and into the great dark beyond. The streaming ripples of energy were felt by terrible alien minds. Sargeras, the great enemy of all life, the destroyer of worlds, felt the potent ripples and was drawn to their distant point of origin. Spying their spying their primordial world of Azeroth and sensing the limitless energies of the Well of Eternity, Sargeras was consumed by an insatiable hunger. The great dark god of the nameless void resolved to destroy the fledgling world and claim its energies as his own. Sargeras gathered his vast burning legion and made his way towards the unsuspecting world of Azeroth. The legion was comprised of 1,000,000 screaming demons, all ripped from the far corners of the universe, and the demons hungered for conquest. Sargeras' lieutenants Archimonde the Defiler and Manaroth the Destructor prepared their infernal minions to strike. Queen Azshara, overwhelmed by the terrible ecstasy of her magic, fell victim to Sargeras' undeniable power and agreed to grant him entrance to her world. Even her highborn servitors gave themselves over to magic's inevitable corruption and began to worship Sargeras as their god. To show their allegiance to the Legion, the Highborn aided their queen in opening a vast swirling portal within the depths of the Well of Eternity. Once all his preparations had been made, Sargeras began his catastrophic invasion of Azeroth. The warrior demons of the Burning Legion stormed into the world through the Well of Eternity and laid siege to the Night Elves' sleeping cities. Led by Archimonde and Manaroth, the Legion swarmed over the lands of Kalimdor, leaving only ash and sorrow in its wake. How many pages is this? Holy 15, okay. The demon warlocks called down searing infernals that crashed like hellish meteors into the graceful spires of Kalimdor's temples. A band of burning, bloodletting killers known as the Doom Guard marched across Kalimdor fields, slaughtering everyone in their path. Packs of wild, demonic fellhounds ravaged the countryside unopposed. Though the brave Kaldore warriors rushed to defend their ancient homeland, they were forced to give ground, inch by inch, before the fury of the Legion's onslaught. It fell to Malfurion's Stormrage to find help for his beleaguered people. Stormrage, whose own brother Illidan practiced the Highborn's magics, was incensed by the growing corruption amongst the upper class, convincing Illidan to forsake his dangerous obsession. Malfurion set out to find Cenarius and muster a resistance force. The beautiful young priestess Tyrande agreed to accompany the brothers in the name of Elune. Though Malfurion and Illidan shared a love for the idealistic priestess, Tyrande's heart belonged to Malfurion alone. Illidan resented his brother's budding romance with Tyrande, but knew that his heartache was nothing compared to the pain of his magical addiction. Illidan, who had grown dependent on magic's empowering energies, struggled to keep control of his new overwhelming hunger to tap the well's energies once again. However, with Tyrande's patient support, he was able to restrain himself and help his brother find the reclusive demigod, Cenarius. Cenarius, who dwelt within the sacred moonglades of the distant Mount Hyjal, agreed to help the Night Elves by finding the ancient dragons and enlisting their aid. The dragons, led by the great red Leviathan Alexstrasza, agreed to send their mighty flights to engage the demons and their infernal masters. Cenarius, calling on the spirits of the enchanted forest, rallied an army of ancient tree men and led them against the Legion in a daring ground assault. As the Night Elves' allies converged upon Azshara's temple and the Well of Eternity, all-out warfare erupted. Despite the strength of their newfound allies, Malfurion and his colleagues realized that the Legion could not be defeated by martial strength alone. As the titanic battle raged around Azshara's capital city, the delusional queen waited in anticipation for Sargeras' arrival. The Lord of the Legion was preparing to pass through the Well of Eternity and enter the ravaged world. As his impossibly huge shadow drew ever closer to the well's surface, Azshara gathered the most powerful of her highborn followers. Only by linking their magics together in one focused spell would they be able to create a gateway large enough for Sargeras to enter. As the battle raged across the burning fields of Kalimdor, a terrible turn of events unfolded. The details of the event have been lost to time, but it is known that Neltharion, the dragon aspect of the earth, went mad during a critical engagement against the Burning Legion. He began to split apart as flame and rage erupted from his dark hide. Renaming himself Deathwing, the burning dragon turned on his brethren and drove the 5 dragonflights from the battlefield. Damn. So that's how Neltharion was corrupted by Sargeras. It must have been during that time where they were trying to open the portal for him. They obviously needed a very large portal to let a Titan in, and maybe he possessed Neltharion or something like that. Deathwing's sudden betrayal was so destructive that the 5 dragonflights never truly recovered. Wounded and shocked, Alexstrasza and the other noble dragons were forced to abandon their mortal allies. Malfurion and his companions, now hopelessly outnumbered, barely survived the ensuing onslaught. Malfurion, convinced that the Well of Eternity was a demon's umbilical link to the physical world, insisted that it should be destroyed. His companions, knowing that the well was the source of their immortality and powers, were horrified by the rash notion. Yet Tyrande saw the wisdom of Malfurion's theory. So she convinced Cenarius and their comrades to storm Ashara's temple and find a way to shut the well down for good. Damn. So that all happens in Ashara, right? I'm guessing, like, I mean, this is the Maelstrom. Where was the Well of Eternity originally? I gotta do some research on that. Where was the Well of Eternity originally? It was located in the center of an ancient supercontinent of Kalimdor, directly surrounding the Night Elf capital city of Zin Ashari. So this is long before the Kalimdor that we see now, but so essentially this is back when Kalimdor was all one continent before things ripped apart. It was one large landmass, and the Well of Eternity was where the Maelstrom now sits. So I'm imagining it's this center capital kind of region here. And obviously when it erupted with the cataclysm, it pushed the lands apart. Damn, that was really cool. That was a great book to read. All right, I think since that one was so long, we're going to hold off on the library, because honestly, reading that much kind of took away my buzz, man. I was tipsy in the park, and all of a sudden I'm sober. No, it's just a lot to read, and again, I kind of want to break all that stuff up. I don't want to sit here for an hour straight and just read lore from the books, and WoW. It is cool, but not cool to everyone, I understand. To me, to a guy like me, I really enjoy that stuff, but it's also a little rough on the voice box. All right, but let's go accept this quest from Thomas, the missing diplomat. This is a very long chain. This is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 quests long. Wow, what a chain. That might be the longest chain in WoW. I don't think I've ever seen a chain that's 17 quests long. I guess I could do some research on that too. Is the missing diplomat the longest quest chain in WoW? It's not the longest quest chain in the game. What about in Classic WoW? It is one of the longest leveling and lore-heavy quests, 16 plus steps, but Onyxia's Key is considered the longest quest chain. Who gives us the quest?
Do not turn your back on the light, adventurer. It may be the one thing that saves you someday.
We won't. So they must be under the church. Where the hell is Thomas? Oh, it's a little boy, so he's probably running around. There he is. Thomas. Young lad.
Excuse me, sir.
That's not his voice. Excuse me, sir. Bishop DeLavy asked me to approach adventurers that might be able to help him with a delicate matter. If you could quietly head to Stormwind Keep and speak to him at your earliest convenience, I'm sure he would appreciate your help. Again, please be discreet. It is a matter of some importance. Find Bishop DeLavy in Stormwind Keep. Maybe we'll read one book in the library. How about that? Because we are heading over there. We woke up intoxicated of all kind of drugs. Malin's request. Yeah, we're holding off on that. Most of these are going to become dungeon quests. Well, maybe they're not dungeon quests, elite quests at least, but I don't really like to hide the elite quests. I more so hide the dungeon quests. The elite quests are things that I try and do either at level or a little bit of higher level when I feel like it's safer. But again, I don't want to turn down elite quests. I want to try and do as many elite quests as we can. We did that on the rogue as well. We'll do that on all of our characters. Some of my characters I'll do them like over leveled. Some of my characters I'll do them on level or whatever. It just depends on how comfortable I am with that class, right? But dungeon quests are completely different. Those are things that we'll never do. Just because we've talked about it many times, but I don't do dungeons on my characters. At least in hardcore. Of course in on normal era servers and stuff like that, and different versions of WoW. Of course I do dungeons. Of course it's because I've done those dungeons so many times on different versions of WoW that in hardcore specifically, especially solo self-found, I like to exclude dungeons and add that bonus challenge of like, okay, well, you don't get dungeon gear. You get no chance to group up with people, so everything is on your dime. If you die in a dungeon, it's not, you can't be like, well, it was the healer's fault, they didn't heal, they were out of mana, they didn't drink, or whatever cope that you want to say, right? And it, as one of my favorite points that I've talked about multiple times is it adds that bonus layer of like giving professions more weight and more importance. It adds the value of like hunting down specific quests and doing them for their rewards, right? Like I could have just gotten some blue chest piece from a dungeon, but because I can't do dungeons, now that makes me more incentivized to take on blacksmithing and make this chest piece and go hunt for the iridescent pearls and go hunt for the jade and go hunt for the lesser moonstone and farm the silver, right? And it became this big epic quest that took a lot of time, and now I feel really rewarded wearing this chest piece. This felt so good to get, and now I don't want to take it off for a long time, right? All right, DeLavy.
Hello, adventurer. I am Bishop DeLavy. No doubt if you're asking me about my business here in the keep, then young Thomas has succeeded in requisitioning you to help our kingdom. He has always been adept
He said something.
following my requests. I'm afraid I don't have time to elaborate much, so allow me to be blunt. And please, try to keep this from becoming common knowledge.
All right. Tell me more.
Recently, a diplomat was sent to Theramore to meet with Jaina Proudmoore. That diplomat never arrived. I believe the Defias are involved in this plot, but...
The Defias.
The diplomat's disappearance still eludes public attention, but it can't remain that way for long. Agents of the king are already scouring the city for clues, but I have my own contacts I would like involved. In the Valley of Heroes is an old friend of mine named Jorgen. Find him, give him this note, and follow his instructions.
Dude, Bishop DeLavy is looking drippy. Look at this guy. Dude, he looks sick. Alright, can I read this note? I can. Jorgen, my fears have come true, and they have acted in ways I never thought capable. Never did I think they would get this close, but they have. Please help the bearer of this note and send them to him. In all honesty, I think he'll aid us, because the seriousness of this matter, if it were any other threat, he would probably continue to ignore us and the problems of our fair city. Thank you, you old fisherman. I am indebted to you as always. Your friend, DeLavy. Cool. Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. Alright. It'll be now 2 in the Stormwind Royal Library. And I already know which one I want to read. It's Aegwind and the Dragon Hunt. I'm so curious about this one. This one really intrigues me. Can I fit this here? Aegwind and the Dragon. Nope, I'm not going to be able to. Okay. Page 3. Completed books 3. Aegwind and the Dragon Hunt. Getting good at finding that. Okay. As the politics and rivalries of the 7 human nations waxed and waned, the line of guardians kept its constant vigil against chaos. There were many guardians over the years, but only one ever held the magical powers of Tirisfal at any given time. We know that. One of the last guardians of the age distinguished herself as a mighty warrior against the shadow. Aegwin, a fiery human girl, won the approbation of the Order and was given the mantle of guardianship. Aegwin vigorously worked to hunt down and eradicate demons wherever she found them, but she often questioned the authority of the male-dominated Council of Tirisfal. She believed that the ancient elves and the elderly men who presided over the council were too rigid in their thinking and not far-sighted enough to put a decisive end to the conflict against chaos. Impatient with lengthy discussions and debate, she yearned to prove herself worthy to her peers and superiors, and as a result frequently chose valor over wisdom in crucial situations. As her mastery over the cosmic power of Tirisfal grew, Aegwin became aware of the number of powerful demons that stalked the icy northern continent of Northrend. Traveling to the distant north, Aegwin tracked the demons into the mountains. There she found that the demons were hunting one of the last surviving dragonflights and draining the ancient creature of their innate magic. The mighty dragons who had fled from their ever-advancing march of mortal societies found themselves too evenly matched against the dark magics of the Legion. Aegwin confronted the demons and, with help from the noble dragons, eradicated them. Yet, as the last demon was banished from the mortal world, a great storm erupted throughout the north. An enormous dark visage appeared in the sky above Northrend. Sargeras, the Demon King and the Lord of the Burning Legion, appeared before Aegwin and bristled with hellish energy. He informed the young guardian that the time of Tirisfal was about to come to an end, and that the world would soon bow before the onslaught of the Legion. The proud Aegwin, believing herself to be a match for the menacing god, unleashed her powers against Sargeras' avatar. With disconcerting ease, Aegwin battered the demon lord with her powers and succeeded in killing his physical shell. Fearing that Sargeras' spirit would linger on, Aegwin locked the ruined husk of his body within one of the ancient halls of Kalimdor that had been blasted to the bottom of the sea when the Well of Eternity collapsed. Aegwin would never know that she had done exactly as Sargeras had planned. She had inadvertently sealed the fate of the mortal world, for Sargeras, at the time of his corporeal death, had transferred his spirit into Aegwin's weakened body. Unbeknownst to the young guardian, Sargeras would remain cloaked within the darkest recesses of her soul for many long years. I feel like we'd read that one before, but I think that was also just in some of the other books that we've read. So what do we have left here? Let's take a look at our books. Beyond the Dark Portal, we need to read that one, right? Nope, we've read that. The Kaldori and the Well of Eternity, I think that's one that we need. Yes. And then what's the other book? The New Horde? No, we've read that. The Guardians of Tirisfal, I know we've read that. Yep. Aftermath of the Second War, yep. The Alliance of Lordaeron, yep. Civil War in the Plaguelands, yep. Maybe it's just one book in here. I must be missing something. I don't think my numbers are wrong. Yep, I mean, I guess it's literally just Draconic for dummies. Oh, but we can't read this. Zentrios me and kill. I wonder if you could ever learn Draconic, or if this area is still here in modern day WoW, if you could come as like one of the, I think they're called Evokers, the dragon race people, and read this. Okay, so technically it's now 1. It's a bit long, I'm not going to read it now. If it was like 5 pages, I might just go ahead and burn through it now, but we've already burned like 35 minutes. Let's go talk to Jorgen. Seems like he's right outside the trade district. And then we're heading to Darkshire. Man, I hope I can find a citrine soon. I'd love to make our helmet. Like I said, I think I am going to keep it hidden, but it would be cool to have. Just, I mean, it's a lot of stats to gain. 11 extra stamina is an extra 110 health. The 5 strength is nice, that's more damage. The armor is nice, that's us taking less damage, right? And then, of course, after that, we'll be making the leggings. We gain 1 extra strength, but mostly we gain 5 extra stamina and a little bit more armor. You don't have to thank me, brother. Just doing my job. Man, I love being a paladin. This shit is so cool. This class is so sick, man. I played this class as like one of my original mains way back in the day. I've talked about it multiple times, but the original class that I played way back in the day on my cousin's account in original vanilla was a warlock. I played a warlock and a warrior. I got my warlock to like mid 30s. Purely on his account whenever I would like visit his house on the weekends, and that was like over the course of a year. I didn't play much. He would let me play every now and then, and I got to like 32, I think, something like that. And then I made my own account come BC time. I finally got my own computer and I was able to get my own account and pay for my subscription and stuff like that. And I made a Blood Elf Paladin. Cyranic was his name, spelled like this: Syranic. You better have good reason to interrupt a man in his fishing. I don't take kindly to peddlers, let alone beggars.
All right, I'll help you, but not because I want to, but because I'm obligated. And let's get one thing straight. You're knowing far more than you should to begin with. Let's keep this our little secret, and don't go blabbing at any taverns about anything you find out. Understand?
Right.
Take this here note to Ellen Trias. Don't say nothing else to him. Just be polite and wait for him to respond, and don't worry, he will. I'm gonna only impress this on you once more, adventurer. Treat this matter seriously and keep your yapper shut.
Right.
You can find Trias at his cheese shop, Trias Cheese, in the Trade District.
Trias Cheese. Well, you know what that means. Level 31, baby. We finally get it. Seal of Command. Yes. I think I like it on 2 better. Now, is this a different note? Oh, this one's sealed. I can't read this one. Sealed note to Elling. But yeah, now that we know what these statues mean and who these adventurers are, that's so sick. Give me a buff. Trias' cheese right here. Ben Trias. Elling Trias. Hello, adventurer. Is there something I can do for you? Perhaps you'd like to try some of our special Trias cheese, or a block of Darnassian blue.
I'm sorry. A letter for me. Well, I'll be not often. You get a delivery that's not a crate or barrel when all you do is work. Let's see what this is about. You look a little tense. You okay, adventurer?
Aye.
Jorgen, you old son of a... So that's how it's going to be, huh? All right, I can deal with that. I hope he finds the twisting nether that much sooner. Here's what's going to happen, adventurer. I'll start using my contacts here, but you're doing most of the footwork, so I save some coin. Head to Darkshire and
Classic.
Duskwood and find Watcher Bacchus. He usually patrols the North Road right outside of town. Just tell him you're looking into any Defias activity for me, and he'll help you out with any information he can.
Right. Can I sell some stuff here? You guys sell?
Best deals in all of Stormwind, my friend. Won't find any better. Now, what can I help you with?
Sealed note to Watcher Bacchus. Alright, we're finally getting out of Stormwind.
Where is it you would like to go, lad? For just a few coin, my
Darkshire,
griffins can get you there
sir.
faster than even the swiftest horse.
Yar. While we fly, sorry, I'm just checking some of my voicemails. I got 2 voicemails. One thing that's annoying is you can like read a voicemail and the memo on it or whatever, but it won't go away until you like kind of skim through it a little bit. We woke up intoxicated of all diamond. Any O3 Greedo fans? So funny, the other day I'm singing Ella Langley and now I'm singing O3 Greedo. The dichotomy of my music selection is crazy, gang, okay? I think I'm going to be playing some Marathon here soon. One of my buddies should be off pretty soon. And I think we're going to get some Marathon in together. She's from Texas, I can tell by the way he do step and ran her room. Alright, let's take all the quests here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gonna be cutting it close. Let me get your pet too. Let's start with the lowest quests. So, Elaine, where's she at? Of course it's raining when we arrive. Ooh, expert blacksmith.
Ever since the shadows claimed Duskwood, I haven't been able to sleep. I'm kept awake by the ghostly sounds of screaming on the breeze. It sounds almost like lambs screaming, and they won't stop.
That was a lot from one of the first merchants that we talked to. That was crazy. The Draconian Falks. I do one day possibly want to take on a White Knight challenge. I've talked about the White Knight challenge before a couple times on this channel, but essentially you can only use white gear, and that makes merchants like this so cool. Because at level 21, then you can come get this It's like a pretty shitty sword, but like the damage is comparable, right? 39 to 60. You just don't get the bonus stats, but you get some really cool looking pieces of gear that you get to wear that you wouldn't normally wear on other characters, like the kite shield, or maybe you get a full set of polished scale gear, right? Where's Elaine? Oh, she's in this house. Okay, I see. Elaine, Caravan. We'll take Ravenhill first. It's dark times that have come, Paladin. All too soon will we lose everything, when the light will forsake all but those who truly walk under the light.
Something's amiss at Ravenhill, adventurer. Kaller swears that someone or something is haunting the buildings there. 2 nights running, he's noticed the shadows moving. And the third before that, he says he saw light in one of the windows. If, as you say, you care about the safety of Duskwood, find out what monster haunts in Ravenhill.
Then we'll do deliveries to Sven.
Do you know Sven? Now there is a man who does the work of the light. He and his followers keep a camp at the northwestern edge of Duskwood. Unfortunately, because they are so few, they cannot even spare a man to fetch supplies from town. Will you deliver these supplies to him?
Right.
There was an old man who used to come into town to buy supplies rather frequently, but I haven't seen him for quite some time now. He lives out in a shack overlooking Ravenhill Cemetery, if I remember correctly. Perhaps you should go see if something is amiss.
Right. Now the next lowest quest would be the Night Watch.
As commander of the Night Watch, it is my sworn duty to protect the citizens of Darkshire. Stormwind has retracted their commissioned guards from their posts here, leaving us to our own devices. If you feel worthy of the task, we need your help. Assist the Night Watch by venturing forth into Tranquil Gardens, just south of Darkshire, and slaying 8 skeletal warriors and 6 skeletal mages. The undead threat must be thwarted.
Right. Next up, we'll take seasoned wolf kebabs. Set
Welcome to my inn,
Perth here.
traveler. What can I do for you?
I'll also take a couple more sweet nectars off you.
Seasoned wolf kebabs are a house favorite. Sure, I can make you some, but first I'll need the supplies. Bring me 10 lean wolf flanks as well as some Stormwind seasoning herbs. There are so many wolves here in the forest, I am sure finding the flanks will be no problem. For the herbs, seek out Felicia Gump in her Canal District flower shop in Stormwind.
Oh, we know Felicia. Let me just poke around the inn real quick, see if there's any books here. Oh. Kill Jaden in the Shadow Pact. Now that's a cool one. Darkshire 1. Oh, the Founding of Quel'Thalas. Have we read this one? I feel like we have. Yep, okay. This is why you gotta poke around. Man, there's multiple books here. Pretty sure we've read this one too. Mount Hyjal and Illidan's Gift. Yep, nice. And this is the importance of us kind of keeping some notes on what books have we read and what books haven't we read. Okay, so there's really just one here that we haven't read that I'll read probably next time. General goods. So this is finally a merchant that can sell me 10 slot bags for basically 2 gold. We have 10 slot bags for every slot. We've gotten lucky finding 2 of them. This was a quest and this was a quest. But I'm thinking about my bank. So 2, 4, 6 gold to get full slots. I'll hold off on it for now, but I am going to at some point. Oh, it's Antonio. What you got there, bud? Someone bought the sword from him. Alright, next up we'll take the 2 quests from Madame Eva.
Greetings.
I've sensed you're coming for quite some time, Bale. It was written in the pattern of the stars. We'll take the Totem of Infliction.
As the mystical taint creeps through the forest,
Mystical
the
what?
need for self-protection is undeniable, adventurer. The winds whisper
that's
to me and they
demonic.
speak of a great danger which waits patiently for you in the near future. If you
A
wish to
word?
protect yourself, noble adventurer, bring to me 10 ghoul fangs, 10 skeleton fingers, and 5 vials of spider venom. For you, I shall enchant a totem of infliction which will harm those who attempt violent acts against you.
So it's 50 armor, held in the offhand so you don't get a shield. Equip when struck in combat. Has a 1% chance to inflict 75 to 125 shadow damage to the attacker. This is garbage. The Legend of Stalvin.
Last night, a horrible disturbance rippled through my veins. I sensed that my granddaughter, Alyssa, was in great danger. I consulted the cards, and death stared up at me from the table. After taking a long journey through a dark trance, I was able to uncover a clue to this terrifying mystery. A name came to me, the name of Stalvin. Seek out the clerk in the town hall and see if you can find out more about this character. I fear for us all.
Right, does Alyssa have anything for sale? So we need symbols of divinity. What do those even cost? 20 silver each for divine intervention. We're never going to buy them. I just was curious at the price, but what are these kids doing working, man? She got a sweatshop going on here?
Can I help you?
I am actually very excited to one day make a tailor and find all these like rare patterns, because again, you find a lot of tailoring patterns, like there's another one right there, but you find no blacksmith patterns. The blacksmith patterns only drop out in the wild, and they're a very, very low drop chance, very random. You can't like kill certain mobs and guarantee that this one's going to drop this or this one's going to drop that. It's very random. Caller?
Darkness seems drawn inexorably to Duskwood. Master Caraven's quest is the expulsion of evil and heresy. Through our efforts are the people of Darkshire kept safe. You believe yourself worthy to join us? I once thought as you. Disillusioned by the complacency of the Watch, I joined Master Caravan. If you wish to prove yourself, it will not be through words. Test your skills against the Nightbane Shadow Weaver Worgen in Brightwood Grove. Bright, huh? And the Rotting Orchard.
Right. I once thought, as you, delusioned by the complacency of the Watch, I joined Master Caravan. If you wish to prove yourself, test your skills against the Nightbane Shadow Weaver Worgen. Okay. Sorry, I got caught up buffing everyone. Oh, look, it's Bacchus. He's just coming into town. Wait a second. Let me buff you up. Not too safe to be traveling about in these woods, Bale. Be careful, and if you see anything suspicious or dangerous, contact the Watchers immediately. Don't try and take anything on yourself. We're not responsible for anything terrible that might happen to you. But we both know you're going to ignore me and fight whatever comes out of the darkness anyway, don't we? Ha, yeah, you adventurer types. All the same, I have this note for you.
Oh, Tria sent you, huh? That's a little different. Feel free to fight whatever monstrosities come at you from the darkness. I'm sure you'll be able to handle it pretty easily if you're the type to be hanging around with the likes of him. So, what does my friend need of me on such a gloomy day as this?
Defia's activity? Well, there's always some activity. Even if they keep to themselves, we consider them a threat. But now that I think about it, there was a recent sighting that seemed odd. It must have been a couple weeks ago, but some of their agents had gathered around Adel's stead. From the report, I'd guessed something big went down. Why don't you check there first? And bring me back anything you find. The farmstead is south of the road from Westfall, just as you enter Duskwood.
Right. So yeah, right there. I was going to say somewhere over here, and yep, there it is right there. The last thing that we need to do is talk to Clerk. Wow, that's a long quest too. Give me just 1 second. My cat's at the door. All right, gamers, we are back. Let's talk to Clerk Daltrey. And honestly, I'm just seeing the time.
Madame Eva sent you.
We don't have that much time left. Madam Eva.
Stalvin, eh? Let me check the town registry. Stalvin. Let's see. Here we go. I have a record of a Mr. Stalvin Mistmantle. The last recorded address is the Moonbrook Schoolhouse. My, talk about outdated. Do me a favor, will you, friend? If you happen to go out to Moonbrook, let me know if you get any update on this fellow. I like to keep the records clean.
Travel to the Moonbrook schoolhouse and bring back any updated information about Stalvin. Right. This is an area that I've done before, not many a times, but I never paid attention to what was going on as far as the lore goes here. I would just kind of come, do the quests, not really pay attention, get the experience, and get out. But wow, there's a couple books in here. So we have The Alliance of Lordaeron. I know we've read this one. It's actually going to be 2 in Darkshore, I think. Or Darkshire. The Alliance of Lordaeron, yep. And then I see one back here, The Birth of the Lich King. I don't think I have that one. Yep.
As if the neglect for the residents of Duskwood was not bad enough now, the House of Nobles spits in the eye of the Darkshire Council with their decision to imprison Dextrin Ward in Stormwind, rather than behead the villain as per Lord Ebenlock's sentence. Ward was...
This is the Stockades quest, okay. Let's skim through this book here and see how long it is. 10 pages, not too bad. Roll Draugr and Lord Elo Ebenlock, the Mayor of Darkshire and the Deputy Mayor of Darkshire. Council. Any other books here that we're missing them? Hogan Ference. Sierra von Indi. Alright, so we have 2 books here that we need to read. What's this quest over here? Victory. Herbal Bauble Tump.
Interesting. Would you like to purchase something?
Seems like it's mostly engineering supplies. I guess you can get coal from him, but... Alright, we should have just enough time to take this quest and then... I think she's a physical pet.
My gnomish friend Cog has promised to help me build a device which will let me peer towards the stars. A truth exists, beyond magic, that can explain the strange transformation in the forest. Bring to me a bronze tube made by a skilled engineer. That is the first step, according to Cog's blueprint.
I think I can buy... Can you buy bronze tubes in WoW Classic? I'm 99% sure I can. I don't know how far I'm going to be able to take this quest if he requires more from us, but yeah, I was about to say, even Herbal apparently sells them. I don't remember if he did have one on him right now, but... Oh, he did. Nice. Perfect. Well, that's a quick little turnaround. Have you found a skilled engineer to create a bronze tube yet?
This is perfect, adventurer. The first step is complete. According to Cog's blueprint, what I need now is a way to reflect light. I remember a woman by the name of Mary who became well known around these parts for always carrying a looking glass. Perhaps you can track Mary down and see if she might lend us a reflective surface for this project. I believe she once resided in southern Duskwood.
He's building a telescope. Interesting. Alright, well that's about a full quest log. We have one more slot open for an old history book if this drops from any of these mobs, which is what we're hoping for. I think it's the only quest in the area that... Yeah, it's the only quest that drops from the mobs, so this is basically all the quests here. Well, we do have this quest chain up here too, at Sven and his camp, but I'm sure by the time that we get up over there, it's not giving us experience already, so we're in no rush. And I mean, that's just about perfect timing. How many pages is this book? Wait, no, it's not this one. It's 9 pages as well. I'll hold off, and later tonight I'll read the 2 books here, I think. Got a couple seconds left. Let's skim through Whoops. Take a look at blacksmithing again and see what do we get after the green iron gloves. I think I have to find this recipe. I might wind up making the barbaric iron gloves. 11 strength compared to 4 strength, 4 stamina, 3 spirit. I mean, yeah. Can I make these or do I have to learn these? There's also golden scale gloves. Those look sick. Strength and spirit, what weird stats, but they look cool as hell. Yo, can I make a full golden scale set? Oh, please. Oh. No way. That's probably going to be one that you have to... Oh, dude, you look so sick. Oh my god, that's the set that I want right there. There's not a belt for it, but... Dude, you look so sick like that. Holy. What would be the next mace that I would make? I think it's the big black mace. Bro, that's the vibe right there. Come on, man. We look so cool. I'll do some research and see. Do you have to find the patterns for the golden scale set, or do you just learn this? I feel like all the pieces are going to be no. You're going to have to find some of these pieces out in the world, but... Man, that looks cool. Alright guys, let's go ahead and sleep. Let's get a little closer to the pillow. That's better. And I will be back later tonight to hopefully do another session where we'll actually take on some of the quests here in Duskwood with our new seal of command. I'm very excited. So, see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out. Peace and love, and God bless gamers.